We finally did it! We finally did it! 500 miles! Holy sh! I don't know if you know this, and you should know this by now. We went through hell. I mean, significant hell just to get 500 miles on the eMOVE Cruiser V2, okay? None of this was Melvin's fault. None of this was Voro Motors' fault. However, whoever delivered that scooter to us fucked up significantly. That rear wheel wobble was so hard to fix. Combined with the amount of maintenance that we had to do was a nightmare. Now, I'll touch more base into that because this is going to be a very honest review. This is my very first high-performance scooter I've ever owned. Anthony had the Dualtron Eagle Pro. As you guys know, I only kept myself with the Max. So the eMOVE Cruiser V2 was a gigantic learning curve, and with it came significant problems. So the first problem was the rear wheel was doing this. It was misaligned, and we went to 2 to 3 different shops. The mechanics, they said that they've seen this before, but they can't fix it because what they needed to be done, the parts were not available to be used, right? It didn't necessarily affect how we rode because it rode fine. When we got it checked with Amin, shout out to Amin, he said that it's okay. We checked to see if there was any air bubbles, if there was any like leaks in the back, because another problem that we had was the tire kept leaking air at a rapid rate. We would charge it up, we would pump up the tire to the PSI it needs to be, and then like after one day, that shit dropped to like 10. And you can see it, because it's the deck, it goes from like this to like this. So not only did we have a misaligned wheel, but we also had a leak. And we went to a few people, couldn't figure it out until we went to Wilson's shop. Shout out to Wilson in Forest Hills, Queens. They have their own on-site mechanics, electricians, and like mad scientists that are in there that can build what you need on site. Welders. So if you need something that shops cannot provide, Wilson's shop is the place to go to. I'm going to straight up put their address in this fucking video. They saved us so much trouble. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Philippe. Shout out to Wilson. And of course, shout out to Melvin and Voro Motors for the sponsorship. Again, this is not to diss them. This has everything to do with how it came in terms of the delivery. You know, USPS or FedEx, whoever gave it to us. Those were like a few months that took to fix at least the wobble. We still had an air leak, right? After a bunch of trial and error, me and Anthony figured out that it was probably the valve inside that was too loose. I was able to fix it myself for the most part. It still leaks a little bit, but not as much. I had to get some tweezers to loosen and then tighten it. We got it in September. November, we got the wheel fixed. And in January, I got the valve fixed for the most part. So we finally got to ride the eMOVE Cruiser V2 in the way it's supposed to about 5 months later. Let's be honest, review time. This is a high performance scooter. It does require a lot more maintenance. One thing that I do appreciate with the G2 that I have is that the maintenance is not as serious as the V2, especially with the disc brakes. These bad boys have really given me learning curve issues, right? When you get a high performance scooter, if you've never had one, you better start getting familiar with disc brakes and how to fix them. They're not the hardest thing to fix in the world, and I'm an idiot, so for me to tell you they're not hard, listen to me when I say they're not that hard to fix. There are videos everywhere. On the topic of disc brakes, we got into an accident on the Brooklyn Bridge. Somebody decided to check their phone, and I bumped into the person behind them, which actually destroyed my front disc brakes. So we had to get a new piece and fix it and finagle it. But on the topic of the accident that I had, this scooter, I mean, the G2 is a tank, but the V2 is like a tank on steroids. I didn't feel it. This scooter is so heavy. This is a 75-pound scooter. The battery itself is probably like it's at least a third of the weight. That battery makes like about 35 pounds. One thing that is concerning though, which I stopped doing, was the folding mechanism. There's a little ball on the inside, right? The folding mechanism, the part that looks like a kneecap. And when you fold it too many times down, it gets stuck, so you can't fold it back up. On top of that, sometimes when you fold it back up, unless you do some tweaks for that ball for the locking mechanism, scooter actually locks turning left and right, which was a serious safety hazard that Amin, shout out to Amin again, helped fix. I highly recommend not folding the scooter unless you want to continuously do adjustments. Speaking of adjustments, maintenance. You're gonna want to do maintenance twice a month, once a month at least. This scooter does go fast. This scooter is very powerful. It is a strong scooter, but because of it being a high performance scooter, you're gonna need to be doing quality checkups, okay? Your own QCs. In the words of Anthony, your own due diligence. That involves cleaning it, that involves adjusting the brakes, that involves the stem, make sure that it doesn't wobble as much, make sure every piece of it that you can tighten stays tight and aligned. So that is the biggest learning curve from a regular scooter to a high performance scooter. With that being said, let's move on to the actual riding portion of it. This scooter is fast as fuck. I love it. I love it. I love it. I didn't think I love it as much as I do now, especially with all the criticisms that I was giving it. But like I said, I'm an idiot. This scooter is fast, and this is the single motor, okay? The single motor goes around 30 miles an hour, and that's why it's about 75 pounds. The range is 62.5 miles, right? When you get the dual motor, it's 40 to 44 miles per hour. I'm going off the top of my head. And then the range goes up to like 80. That's a lot, and that's a fast scooter. And then the weight is like 80 something pounds too. I'll put it all in the video so you can see. This is a great scooter for Uber Eats. You have range for the whole day, single or dual motor. It honestly doesn't matter. This scooter is stylish as shit. I saw people make fun of the comments on the sponsored Voro Motors video that we made, shout out to Voro again, about me saying that we got good looks from the girls and the guys. It's kind of true though. Like, you can actually have a certain type of outfit if you care about this, for people to stare at you and they're like, damn bro, that's a badass person on a badass scooter. One problem I have with the G2 is that when I ride it, I look like an Uber Eats delivery driver, and a lot of people think that I can't speak English. And when I go to restaurants, they think that I'm actually here for Uber Eats. When I'm riding the V2, it's not like that. People look at me, they're like, damn, that's a nice scooter. The only problem I have with all the attention is that when you attract attention, it's both good and bad. I have had people look at me and give me bad vibes when it comes to bringing this scooter to places all around New York, so be prepared. Always be prepared. The deck is great. It's comfortable. The handlebars are great. They're comfortable. The front brake is cool. The rear brake is great. The light is powerful. It's strong. You can always add another light if you need to. But I think the biggest things that I fell in love with were the tires. Those multi-purpose all-terrain tires are to die for. They eat so much on the road. And with the pattern that it has, with the weight of the scooter, bro, these sinkholes and potholes that I hit, the G2, I would have fell. This V2, the worst thing that can happen is that the disc brakes, they get loose, so you have to be cautious and ready for that. But it's better that than you getting into an accident that's as bad as what I went through. But yeah, this scooter is very fast. I do love that it can keep up with cars and traffic. Instead of cars trying to race me and beat me towards where they want to go, they actually respect me and they stay behind me because I can keep up with traffic. I love that. That is probably the biggest quality of life thing as well that the scooter provides with the tire. It is such a powerful battery. It has great speed, and the range is excellent. I did a test video where I went on Pass 2 from my place in Flatbush to Central Park, around and back. On Pass 2, which is about 25 miles an hour, I had battery to go throughout all the boroughs, right? The only reason why I didn't do it is just because it got cold as fuck. You can check that video as well in our channel. Yeah, the range is excellent. I don't have range anxiety at all. You can take this all over Manhattan. Uber Eats is like no problem. You look good on this scooter. You feel good on this scooter. It is a big scooter too, by the way. So for people like me, if you're around 5'9" and around 140 pounds, if you are not training or are not strong, this will be a scooter that you will have problems with angling and turning to just straight up lifting the scooter. So just be very mindful on that. If you do live up on a higher floor, I don't know, man. Good luck with... If you don't have an elevator, good luck lifting that up. You've heard Anthony complain about lifting up his scooter every day for like 2 years in the beginning of the channel. All in all, great scooter. The color scheme is beautiful. It rides amazing. And when you get an understanding on how to do proper maintenance on your scooter, I guarantee you this will be a scooter for the win. You will have the range to go wherever you want in New York. This scooter is also very fun to just do joyrides on. That right there, fantastic. This is like my little motorcycle. That's my honest take on the eMOVE Cruiser V2. I am excited for the next version of the eMOVE Cruiser. The V3, I am excited for. I would wish that it wouldn't be so heavy. I would wish that it wouldn't be so big, especially on the handlebars. But besides that, I think it's fine. Maybe somehow the disc brakes can be a little bit tougher as well. Possibly that too. But yeah, that's my honest take on the eMOVE Cruiser V2. Much love. Again, thank you so much to Melvin for sending us this scooter. Please, guys, definitely buy one. Highly recommend it. Thank you to Amin, Wilson, Philippe, for all that you guys have done to help with the maintenance and the difficulties that we had. Thank you to Anthony. Thank you to the community that we have. Shout out to everyone in PEV. If you have any questions or concerns, please put that in the comments below. Please do not forget to subscribe if you like seeing this type of content. If you want to considering, please hit the YouTube join button or the Patreon to help support the channel. We love y'all. Much love. Ride safe. Stay safe.